All right. Well, welcome to our Zoom today. As you probably saw in the post, today's training is going to be a special one as we dig into one of our particular nutrients that is found in a lot of our different products, and you'll find that it's something that we've included in most things because it's so valuable, and we want everybody to get it every day. My name's Todd Smith. I'm one of the founders of Top Shelf Nutra, and today we're going to talk about the Muscadine. And I know some of you who are listening to this are saying, Musca who? Musca what? If you're not familiar with the Muscadine, this is going to be a powerful presentation because this is a compound you're going to want to have in your protocol, in your lifestyle, in your diet, in your program, in your supplements. You're going to want to have Muscadines every single day, multiple times a day, because it truly will change your health. So as we kick this off, let me go ahead and share my PowerPoint here. All right. And can I just get a confirmation that you're seeing the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yep, thumbs up. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So always want to check that before I get too far down the road. and then we say, oh, nobody could see. So excited to talk about the Muscadine. And when we talk about the Muscadine, in particular, when we're talking about health and wellness, we're talking about the seeds and the skins. But before we go into the wonderful characteristics and benefits of this, I just want to read this little disclaimer here that we here at Top Shelf Nutra are not trying to diagnose, prescribe, or treat for any particular disease, and that we want everybody to consult with your physician before making any especially drastic changes to your diet or lifestyle. Our products are intended to support the body's natural abilities to heal, maintain, and repair themselves, and we are not trying to take the place of being doctors, okay? But what we are doing is saying there's a number of things that can support everything you're already doing to be healthy. And we believe the medical profession also would benefit from encouraging these things. And we hear it over and over again when people go back to their physicians and they say, whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it because of the benefits that people are seeing. All right. So let's start with a little bit of background. What is a muscadine? For over 400 years ago, Native Americans were feasting on these large, luscious berries. They were growing wild in what is now considered the southeastern United States. And besides just eating them when they were fresh on the vine, which is late fall, the natives were also making a tasty wine. They were drying them for like a dried fruit, a raisin, if you will, and using them in a variety of traditional dishes. You see some dried grape skins in this picture there. And even though these were a wonderful food source and they would dry them, so they had them all year round, and they recognized that they were good for their health and a wonderful addition to their diet. What they didn't know is what we've figured out and learned through the scientific research is that the muscadine does so many things. I'll just mention a few of them here, but we'll talk about them in more detail. The muscadine promotes cardiovascular health. It supports healthy blood glucose. It reduces the risk of many cancers. It fights chronic inflammation. It promotes youthful looking skin, promotes healthy cholesterol levels, reduces appearance of wrinkles, supports sexual health, promotes blood flow, and reduces the storage of fat. So if any of those intrigue you, then you're going to say, okay, I want to know more about this muscadine. And so the technical name for muscadine is Vitis rotundifolia. Okay, this is what it would be known as in its species, but it has the appearance of a large grape, but all the chemical benefits of grapes, berries, nuts, and more. We've all been told we should eat dark berries. We've all been told we should eat more nuts and certain fruits and exotic fruits, and the muscadine has all of that rolled up into one berry / grape. It comes in various varieties. You've got white ones, you've got red ones, you've got crimson ones, you've got very purple, different types. but they grow naturally in the southeastern United States. You look at that map right there, it's a rare vine. We haven't found it growing anywhere else in the world. And as we've taken starts from these grapes and tried to grow them and cultivate them in other areas, they really don't thrive in those other areas, meaning they don't produce as much fruit. And, based on the research and things, we've got a few ideas as to why, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But if you know anything about grapes, the shaded area of the United States is probably one of the worst areas in America to grow and harvest and cultivate grapes because of the higher temperatures, because of the mildews, because of the bugs, because of the fungus. I mean, all of the things that persist in this very warm, moist area is exactly why most grapes do not survive well, especially the European varieties. As they were then brought over and introduced in the United States. They were grown in much, very, very different areas than the southeastern United States. However, the Muscadine grape thrives in this area, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So here's some of the earliest record or documentation of the Muscadine. 1524, Captain Giovanni records a big white grape, later to be given the name Scuppernong variety. He wrote that the Native Americans esteem them very highly as they remove the shrubbery and things from them so that they can grow and so that the fruit will ripen better. There's a letter written to an English explorer, Sir Walter Raleigh, in 1584 that said in North Carolina, it was described the land was fruitful, being so full of grapes as the very beating and surge of the sea overflowed them. Sir Walter Raleigh then traveled to America himself and observed what he named the mother vine of the Scuppernong muscadine out on Roanoke Island. He said the base thickness of the grapevine stalk was 2 feet thick, and that the huge vine covered half an acre, coiling up tree trunks growing 60 feet tall. You can see that little picture there of what is now still considered the mother vine. And you can go and observe it out there on Roanoke Island. I'll show you another picture later on. Captain John Hawkins in 1585 said the Spanish settlements were making large quantities of wine from the Muscadine grape, claimed that a little wine was good for much more than just the stomach's sake. And James Blount, the town of Scuppernong, actually named the variety, the Scuppernong variety, brought a number of samples of this to Washington, D.C., and it's known that President Thomas Jefferson planted and harvested muscadines in his vineyard at his home in Monticello. So the muscadine has, following that, was kind of forgotten as a result of the introduction of the European grapes, which have a much thinner skin, smaller or fewer seeds, and are easier to juice. And so the muscadine kind of got forgotten. It was kind of just left growing wild in the forest of the southeastern United States because it was so hard to work with. It has a very, very thick skin. It has many large seeds. And so, if you were planting a vineyard, and it only really produced in a certain area of the US. So if you were growing a vineyard, planting a vineyard, you would choose a variety that would produce more juice for the effort. They would say the juice is not worth the squeeze, kind of a thing on the muscadine. And so this picture here is just to show there were a few local vineyards and things, and that, at farmers markets and things like that, you'd be able to find some during harvest season. But as a whole, it really wasn't much of a cultivar. It was not heavily produced, and definitely outside of local areas, you would hardly hear of it. So what's the big deal? Why are we taking time today to learn about this grape that most people avoided and got replaced with a much more efficient and effective grape for producing wine and juice and so forth? Well, if you grew up in the southeastern United States, you'd remember these vines growing through the forest and up the trees, and you'd remember going and throwing rocks or sticks up into those vines so that the ripe berries would fall off. You'd remember biting into that through that thick skin, sucking out the sweet pulp and the juice, and then spitting out the bitter seeds and the skin onto the ground. And that was pretty much traditionally, if you did try a muscadine, that's how you ate them. Well, it was discovered that the very part of the grape that we were spitting out contained over 90% of the nutritional value, and that the nutritional value found in the muscadine far surpassed any other known superfruits on the planet. Now, this was a big discovery, finding out that something that had been neglected, that was native to America, that we don't know, we haven't been able to find it growing anywhere else in the world, except in the southeastern United States, was so potent and so powerful. In fact, the research on this became so prevalent that North Carolina named it as their state fruit in 2001. This is just a sampling of some of the powerful polyphenols and nutrients that were discovered in the muscadine grape early on. And there are many, many more than this in smaller amounts, but these are the big ones that really got people's attention early on as they were studying the plant nutrients found inside the muscadine grape. They identified also that the muscadine is the smarter. Oh, I'm gonna have to mute somebody. I'm not sure who that was. There we go. They also found that the muscadine is the smarter grape, meaning that it contains more chromosomes. It has a better, powerful DNA than other grapes. And that is the answer, we believe, as to why they thrive in the southeastern United States and others don't, is because they actually have a built-in immune response. They have the ability to thrive in that area. And when they do, they actually increase in their production of these polyphenol chemicals. So these phytochemicals that help the plant to survive and fight against invaders, whether they be plants, whether they be insects, whether they be fungi or mold, those very nutrients are the ones we're talking about that are so beneficial to our health when we consume them. In fact, if you look at that picture, you can see those little dots. They call those scars, and they'll even get bigger scarrings on them where the bugs or the molds and things attack them. And the grape will actually produce an antioxidant, an anti-fungal, and will fight back and resist the invaders. It's a pretty cool thing how the plant works. Well, with the discovery that the nutrients are found in the seeds and skins, the grapes started to be juiced less for their juice and more to try and access these phytonutrients. And so the skins and the seeds were preserved, freeze-dried, separated, and then they were ground up into a powder, and we use them in a number of our products as a as a supplement, giving all of these polyphenols and antioxidants benefits to those who consume them. In addition, there's a discovery of an amazing blend of powerful nutrients inside these seeds that are oil-based. And so you can take these seeds and put them in this cold press that you see there, and drop by drop, oil comes out, which contains all of the same antioxidants and polyphenols, but it also contains a very unique oil called tocotrienol, or T3s. And this is a super-powered vitamin E. It's loaded with all sorts of essential fatty acids, but also this tocotrienol, which has been researched and studied. In fact, they're doing lots more. We'll talk about that, of the benefits of this tocotrienol in combination with all these other nutrients. So there began to be a number of books written, trying to get the word out of these amazing superfruits. Also, many universities started to conduct clinical studies. What happens if we implement and add this to people's diets, both topically and orally, internally, consumption? What would happen? And so just a few of these: North Carolina State University published an abstract on the effects of muscadine and blood sugar levels. Appalachian State University published a study of the quercetin, which is one of the compounds very prevalent in muscadine, and it's supporting immune function under intense exercise. The National Cancer Institute studied how muscadine grapes contain unique phytochemical constituents and a potential source for novel compounds and anti-tumor activities. Wake Forest University began huge studies. They're continuing even now, over $25 million invested in this, where they are studying the effects of muscadine on aberrant or mutated cells and their rate of growth, which they aberrant and mutated cells are at the root of the cause of cancer. The Journal of American College of Nutrition publishes favorable results on muscadine therapy with cardiovascular health. School of Pharmaceutical Science in Sains, Malaysia, researched the positive effect of tocotrienol. Remember the oil that is found in the muscadine seeds, and its supplementation on hair growth. Oxford Academic publishes an abstract on carcinogenesis. That's the anti-carcinogenic effect, anti-cancer effect, if you will, on the properties of those very same oils. Monash University School of Medicine publishes research explaining the benefits of tocotrienol supplementation and blood sugar. American Association for Cancer Research publishes 2 abstracts describing muscadine treatments and the replication of aberrant cells. So how quickly they replicate or how slowly when you have the presence of muscadine treatments. And then I'm not going to go through all of them because you can see there's many, many publications that have come out and more to come. But this one kind of is fun. At this research at Southern Florida University demonstrates that when tocotrienols are in the diet and present in the blood system of the body, that the body stops its production and storage of body fat. So this is a wonderful test that shows that when we have tocotrienols in our system, we reduce the likelihood of our body storing blood glucose as fat. More research done and more to go. So that gives you a little bit of the scientific research behind it. We love the fact that it is a all natural, it is a single ingredient product. We have it in a powder, we have it in the oil. Obviously the ingredient makeup of the two are different, but they come from the same plant, so they have a lot of overlaps. But one is water soluble, one is fat based, and so you get different absorptions and applications of the two. And just to show you a quick little video, let me go ahead and optimize somehow here. Well, I hope this video plays. So I want you to watch this quick little 3-minute video on the benefits of muscadine oil as we first started implementing and discovering how amazing it was.
It's been here for 40 years and nobody knew about it. I had like leftover acne blemishes on my face and I used the oil. I tried it and I committed to using it every day for a week just to see what would happen. I began applying it on my skin. So I still had a scar that was from here, really dark. I started using it twice daily. I started pulling up selfies that I had sent them and I did it side by side. And I was shocked. Only thing I did was incorporate a few drops into my skin regime morning and night. When we got this product, I was using about 7 different kinds of oils because I am an oil girl. And all I did was I moved all of those away from my vanity and I use one thing in the kitchen, it's in the bathroom, it's in my part. Nobody's talking about the fat loss part of it. I take it with every meal. It was now not even visible. Within 2 weeks, it all cleared up. Your lashes are the longest I've seen them. They've all grown in. You've never had this many lashes. And I was like, really? Just using this twice a day. Not only has my skin changed and my wrinkles and everything else, but I now have eyebrows and eyelashes and I have to trim my eyebrows. I haven't trimmed my eyebrows in 20 years. It's just the most amazing thing I've seen. I noticed I was using a lot less foundation, and people were stopping me that I hadn't seen in a while and saying, "Oh my gosh, Gigi, what about your skin?" So for a girl that wasn't really blessed naturally with beautiful skin, that has been a great benefit to me. I just turned 58. At 58, and people really don't know how old I am. My skin, no makeup on. I've lost blemishes, scars that I've dealt with for years. And the scar has cleared up considerably, which you can barely notice. Helps you from the inside out. I went from 28 to 34 to 38 to 41 and 44. That's within 7 days, you're seeing results, real results. Our internal, our insides are healthier. Listen, this is life changing.
All right. Hopefully that was helpful kind of to see what was happening when we first started experimenting with the muscadine, and especially with the muscadine seed oil and putting it on topically. We were seeing many, many amazing changes externally, internally, as you heard. And so to give you a little more background on this, if you look, you can see that the muscadine is really, really high in antioxidants. Now it contains many, many more things. That's why we say it's like a berry, it's like a nut, it's like a grape, it has everything in it. But just from an antioxidant standpoint, you can see that it's many, many times more potent just in antioxidants than any of the other superfruits we know of out there on the market. I told you I was going to show you a little bit about the mother vine. Early on, when I was exposed to the muscadine and heard about it, I had to go check out the mother vine myself. You can go there. It's out on Roanoke Island in Virginia. You can visit this yourself. This vine has been producing grapes for over 400 years. They still produce wine from this vine, if you will, today. If you look at the picture, you can see they've built these trestles out here that the vines can grow on, help hold them up, and they can pick the grapes from underneath. I was there when it was not in production, right? It was colder, but you can see because of that, you can see the length of the vines, you can see the trunk, all of that. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to visit. And I think speaks to the fact that this is believed to be the very same route that Sir Walter Raleigh was talking about in his documentation of visiting Roanoke Island. So what do we provide here at Top Shelf Nutra? We provide the capsules, which have the skins and seeds freeze-dried in the capsule, nothing added, okay? It's 100% muscadine, as if you were eating fresh muscadines all year round. You can get that in the capsule. We also have the cold-pressed muscadine seed oil. Again, nothing added, just those seeds dropped into a cold press, drop by drop, filling these bottles. And these can, that oil can be taken internally. I take it every day. I use it as a shaving oil. I also use it on my skin. I take it internally, as well as the capsules. And we also use the powder that's in those capsules we use in a number of our other products, including our GTM product. That's the M in GTM, is the muscadine and minerals. So as we come to a close here, just want to review what are some of the known things that are claimed that we can say about the muscadine according to the clinical research, is that the muscadines help to promote youthful looking skin. They reduce the appearance of wrinkles and fine lines. They promote cardiovascular health and blood flow, support healthy blood glucose, promote healthy blood cholesterol, reduce the storage of body fat, reduce the risk of many cancers, fight chronic inflammation, support sexual health, and promote blood flow, etc. Now, again, as I mentioned, we are not trying to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any diseases, and you should always consult with your physician before making any changes to your diet and lifestyle. But muscadines and these products are intended to support our body's own ability to naturally heal, maintain, and repair itself, and that is exactly what we experience as we partake and introduce these into ours and others' lives. So I hope that's been helpful. Thank you, everybody, for being on. We will share the recording